I find that a lot of successful business people like yourself, one key characteristic that I found in them is not just having superior knowledges about their industry, but also having a never say die attitude, which being the head of an engineering company, which definitely have a lot of challenges, you definitely have such a trait. Do you feel that this is something that is trained into you? You know, when you look at something, do you always see the bright side of things, or you have to constantly train yourself to think more positive?
I would say it's more on cautiously optimistic in whatever pathway that we are embarking into. But I always encourage before we embark on something, think over, analyze and think over. But the moment you have decided to move on with that direction, don't look back. You have to go all the way out. Of course, along the way, definitely there are challenges, there are failures, there are a lot of comments, negative comments, the influences. But the moment that you have made up your mind, we have to be confident on our decision. That's where my experience is that we have to be confident on our experience and we have to try overcome along the way whatever challenges that we are facing. Yeah. So is as what you mentioned, never surrender. Yeah.
Being able to create a great life for yourself and also for your family. I see your family portrait there. Definitely, your family is very important to you. And I always have this heard this saying, you know, wealth doesn't travel through three generations. It's in our culture and a lot of culture in the world. And what are some of the things you are maybe teaching your children on making sure that they can also be successful like yourself in the future?
So family value is to me is utmost important. Yeah. So I value the relationship with all my family members. And likewise, in fact, human relationship are also to me is a high value. Yeah. So I also value relationship between myself and our colleagues, our shareholders, our even clients, supplier, everybody. Yeah. But when coming to wealth does not cross three generation, basically now the world had changed quite drastically compared to our younger time. Yeah. So today we understand the world and we look at the world are very much different from where we are maybe 30 years back. Yeah. Technology has emerged and changed the world very rapidly. I would say that I am not too particular whether or not the wealth can carry on with how many generations and all these things. Yeah, we would rather to let the children to pick something to their own interests. I'm of course happy if my children is happy to inherit our business today. But having said that, it all depends on them because I've seen a lot of younger generation now. Their career pathway are very different from us. Those days we emphasize a lot on work hard, but now they are really work smart. Yeah, a lot of young generation they are comfortably able to create a huge empire at a very young age. Yeah, so that is beyond the imagination of the elder generation like us. So therefore, as I said, time has changed. To some extent, we should also start looking at their perspective. Yeah, sometimes they are not completely wrong and we are not right either sometimes. So we need to have a middle stand to understand both sides here.
You strike me as someone who is very open-minded and able to take in open dialogue and understand from someone else's perspective. Do you feel that maybe this question is more of a reflection, right?
Yeah.
If you go back to your youth again, and you're gonna just coming out from university, do you think that what will be your advice to your younger self at that time, right before entering the job market?
Of course, just as a sharing, yeah, through my past experience, as what I mentioned earlier, yeah. So whatever we wanted to embark in future, think over in a longer term, yeah. So if we have limited knowledge in this particular field, do some research, do some facts finding, understand it, and think before we decide, yeah. So as I mentioned before, the moment we decided, go all the way. Don't turn back. Don't worry about how people talk about comment and influence. Yeah. So whatever feedback, positive feedback from respective party, it does contribute. But however, always remember, you are the one knowing the subject matter best and better than anyone else. Yeah, so therefore, whoever give you the comment may not understand the subject matter as good as yourself. Yeah, and also your good self. Yeah, so yeah, for example, whether or not you are able to be a boss or whatever, you know better than anyone else. Yeah. So of course, the other things is very important that throughout our journey, always do things lawfully and do things properly without shortcut. That is very important to younger generation because we for me, I'm a person I doesn't like to work on rework. Yeah. So the only way that we can save from reworking is to do everything proper and no need to worry about what happened behind. Yeah. So therefore, I always encourage people to do things legally and legitimately.